the UK government has wanted to open one point in the withdrawal agreement, a key point, the question of the protocol on Ireland and Northern Ireland. Throughout these negotiations, the EU and the UK were fully committed to protect peace, to protect stability on the island of Ireland. We had to reconcile two objectives. First, include a legally operative solution in the withdrawal agreement that would avoid a hard border between Ireland and Northern Ireland, preserve the whole island economy and protect the integrity of the single market. Secondly, a point extremely important to Prime Minister Johnson and the UK was that Northern Ireland remains in the UK's customs territory.
Provided the BBC don't claim that particular segment of video, which is quite an important piece of video for what we are going to be discussing, that is the biggest and clearest indicator a deal has been agreed upon, something which Boris Johnson himself has outright said. A new withdrawal agreement has been agreed upon with the EU, one that both sides are happy with. This has meant that Jean-Claude Juncker has said no extension will be granted because a deal is now on the table. I will outright say I have not had a chance to look at the many thousands of words deal because I've been busy playing with my nephew today. But I will peruse it and come up with something for tomorrow to discuss it. If not, it'll be in the stream with Trups. Many MPs I've noticed, when the deal was announced, and it had only been announced by minutes, were all over social media condemning it. I noticed, by the way, Jonathan Pye pounced on it, saying it was essentially a rehashed version of May's deal. As I have not seen the deal, I don't know for sure. But I'm impressed that he managed to read about 22,000 words within the space of 5 minutes. Well done. The DUP has said it will not support this new deal. Many pointing out that because it does the very thing Theresa May wouldn't do, i.e. create a border in the Northern Irish Sea, this deal is unworkable. Sinn Féin are actually somewhat semi-supportive of this. And so we're in a bit of an interesting position, because on Saturday there will be a 5-hour debate over this, with no external analysis, which is what many of them want. They want independent analysis to indicate whether or not this is good or bad, or how bad it is, so we can moan about how bad it is. When we all know not a single analysis given to date has ever indicated we are going to prosper, and then that inevitably leads to people like Femi cropping their ugly head up to say, we need a people's vote and we need Remain on the table. I should point out, as this is a often held misconception, that what is being agreed upon is not a deal itself, but the withdrawal agreement, a basic premise from which they will work on over the next 2 to 3 years in a transition period. The only thing that is guaranteed is if we crash out on the 31st, there will be no transition period. We will be absolutely 100% free. In those 5-hour debates, which is what I'm going to go back to for a moment, they are also going to discuss not only the withdrawal agreement, but inevitably bitch, moan, whine, complain and bleat on about how this deal is not good enough, and then insert whatever reason it is that is entirely self-serving. Whether it be Labour because it's not their idea, whether it be the SNP because they want Scotland to have the same benefits, try that again, benefits, air quotes, as Northern Ireland, forgetting that Northern Ireland shouldn't be a part of the EU, and Barnier has pretty much confirmed they kinda won't be, with those customs checks after all. They're then going to vote on the deal that Boris Johnson presents. Now the problem is, on that day, if no deal is agreed upon in Parliament, he has to ask for an extension. But now we have from Jean-Claude Juncker, there will be no extension. So the letter may as well be written in crayon and simply say, you're a mean poopy head, for all the good it will do. There is a current legal bid that stops MPs from debating the current Brexit deal. I don't support that. I'm all for debate. I also noticed Vince Cable, Dominic Grieve are conversing with the EU. Now, I should point out they are both, along with others that have attended, ardent Remoaners. They are also literal nobodies now. So what on earth they think they can achieve and what they are trying to do could be up there with as treacherous, treasonous and absolutely heretical as Joe Swinson, the current leader of the Lib Dems, sending a letter to the EU telling them not to do a deal with us. You illiberal, undemocratic fucks. To finish, it'll be very interesting now to see whether or not MPs in Parliament can unify behind this version of the deal, some of which are touting it as Theresa May's Mark IV. Again, I can't comment on that until I see it, and I've been very busy. So, I do want to know what you think if you have already seen the deal and whether or not you think it can get through Parliament. I personally don't think it will, because the MPs cannot reach a consensus, and I think at this point they are trying to force Remain by scaring us with the prospect of no deal. But I guess we're going to find out on Saturday who's going to blink first. I might well do a video on this channel, or do a day-long stream covering the very events that take place. It could be quite tasty.